Hey everyone, my name is Jason, and today I want to talk about my ultimate run and gun photography kit. Now what do I mean by that? Well, I've got a lot of photography work where I need to be on multiple locations on the same day, and because of that I have to set up and pack up constantly, and I also need to be able to move from one spot to another fairly quickly. Now, I've decided to limit my kit to a 2-bag setup. And in that, I have to be able to cover multiple photographic situations, including studio style portraits as well as environmental shots. So I'm keen today to show you how I do it all. Alright, as promised, here is my 2-bag kit. And if it sounds a bit echoey, I apologize, we are in my studio, so I guess we'll just have to tolerate it. So, my first bit of kit I want to talk about is actually my camera bag, and this is the Lowepro Fastpak BP 150 AW2. Now this is probably my favorite camera bag that I own, partly because it has this Harry Houdini quality of making a lot of gear disappear into what is essentially a very small bag. Let me take you through my camera gear, and then I'll talk a little bit about the accessories I carry around as well. So, the thing I love about this bag is that it has essentially a quick access point where if I open the side of this, I can actually grab my camera out like that. And without having to open up everything else, it's actually quite a convenient little thing to be able to do. So this is my Canon EOS 5D Mark III. Normally I shoot with my Mark IV, but that's recording the video at the moment. I bring along my Tamron 24-70 2.8 lens, and this is an absolutely beautiful, amazing lens. It's got image stabilization, constant 2.8 aperture, and an all-around really good build quality. I've been really impressed with the sharpness of this lens and the performance. I had the first version, and this is definitely a lot better. Now, having my lens go from 24-70 gives me a lot of versatility, and I think sometimes primes can get a little bit overrated depending on the purpose of your work. Having 2.8 aperture constant is actually plenty of aperture for me, and I can get quite nice out of focus areas. So I think that's a beautiful little camera. Along with that, I pack in here as I open up the bag. I've got my Canon Speedlight 430EX3. Now, this is something I'm thinking of replacing. If there was anything in this whole kit that I would change, it would be this, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But really useful for sort of on-camera shooting as well as a little bit of off-camera shooting. Now, this is my trigger for my Godox flash, which I will show you later on, but that goes inside here. Just in terms of logistics, I often put my expired batteries in here, and I have my fresh batteries in here, so nice and easy to access. Now up top is my main compartment, or my other main compartment, and I've got my Tamron 85mm 1.8. This is a stunning portrait lens. It can be used for anything obviously, but I really love this for portraits and for headshots. This is pretty much my go-to lens. I would say the majority of my fashion work is actually done on this lens. It's also got a image stabilization, and it's a nice complement to the 24-70 because sometimes I do want that buttery, smooth background out of focus area and that really sort of nice, rich cinematic look, and this lens really performs for me that way. Now in here, believe it or not, is also my main light, and this is my Godox AD200. In terms of power, this is probably worth about the power of 3 speed lights, and I have been absolutely blown away by the quality of this light. It has the ability to change attachments as well, so this is the main head, and I find for the majority of my uses this is actually enough, but you can put other attachments on there, like a bulb head for soft boxes and things like that. But this is actually my main lighting kit, and that's pretty much the contents of this bag. Now, it does have a side pocket for iPads or whatever. I often put documentation in here if I have forms and things like that, and it keeps it nice and flat. So that's that. Onto this, and this is something that I've sort of learned to craft a little bit over the years of what was essential and what's not. Now, in the main section, I have one light stand. Now, my main advice to you about light stands is buy the best light stand you can afford, because they will live forever. And that's one of the nice things about this. This is an old Elinchrom light stand I bought right at the very start of my photography career, and I'm still using it today. Now, what else is in here? I've got my Photex soft lighter, and it's basically an umbrella softbox. So that's the softbox, sorry, that's the umbrella itself, and then I've got the diffuser panel in here. And that creates about 130 centimeter softbox for me, and for most applications, it's more than enough. I love it because it is very quick to set up. It is basically just opening an umbrella, like so, and you can use it as a harder light or putting the front diffuser on, and you've got yourself a nice soft light. Now, if this is pretty much the same diffuser that Annie Leibovitz uses for a lot of her portraits, so if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I set up my lights. So this is, like I said before, my Godox AD200. It's like a beautiful little light, and in my little pocket of my bag here, I actually have the umbrella / softbox adapter for this light. It's a very clever little bit of kit, and you can purchase this through Godox as well. And it just mounts your light through that little grip there. Now the beautiful thing about this little unit is you can actually put your speed lights in there as well. It doesn't have to be a Godox light. So I think it's a very useful little bit of kit. And that mounts onto my light stand, like so. And here is my Photex soft lighter all set up. You can see it's just an umbrella with a diffusion panel in front of it. I've been absolutely blown away by the quality of this umbrella softbox. It's lasted me for absolutely years, and I believe it's still good to go. So you can see it set up like this. Pull that over here. And that's basically the entire unit set up. And you can use this here just to tilt the angle. And that's essentially a gorgeous, close to 130 centimeters softbox that is perfect for portrait lighting, fashion work and things like that, and I highly recommend it. Now here is my favorite little thing that I've actually added to my kit, and it's actually the Yongnuo light stick. It's this beautiful multicolored RGB light that I didn't think I'd get a lot of use of it at the start, but it turns out that it's actually really, really useful. And this is called the YN362. The older one I think was all black and it had a separate battery and things like that. I love this one because it's so nice and compact, and when you turn it on, you can actually change, obviously, the brightness, but you can also change the color as well. So you can actually go through different color channels and basically create any kind of light you want. In terms of power, it's actually quite decent, especially if you put it just out of camera frame and you've got quite a nice level of illumination. Now, how do I use this? Actually, I often use this purely in daylight mode, and because you may notice I don't have a reflector here, and sometimes on a shoot, it's actually enough to act as a little bit of a kicker for a bit of fill lighting or even a main light. And the beauty of this is often I shoot inside office buildings, and you have fluorescent lights or all sort of different colored lights. And this has actually become more useful than the flash sometimes, because I'm able to dial in the exact color of the ambient light, and it actually works as a bit of a, like I said, kicker or a bit of an accent light as well. So I think this is an absolutely beautiful kit. Now, between this, the Godox AD200 and the Photex soft lighter, I essentially have a 2-light studio lighting kit, and I can often use this as a backlight as well. So turn it up, light my background, and have that as my main light. Now, obviously, I can't shoot every single lighting situation with this, but the kind of work I do is your general sort of office portrait or environmental portrait, headshot, things like that. And I've actually found that this is enough that I can cover the majority of the situations that I've been asked to do. I've even done very high-end hair shoots with just this light setup. Now, I did talk about earlier on about why I might want to replace my light, and the reason is I've used this light for so many events, so many different kinds of jobs. But what I would find useful is if this was a Godox speed light, because then I could actually use this as a second light to sync with the trigger as well. So that's probably my next purchase. But as you can see, 2 bags covering a lot of different situations, and for a lot of the work I've done, I haven't felt like I've been cheated of many opportunities of what this gear can cover. So I hope that's been helpful for you guys, and I hope that it comes to a realization that you don't need a lot of gear in order to do a lot of different kinds of work. And this is something I've developed over the years, and I wanted to share that with you so that you can have a greater time shooting. Bye for now.